The Wednesday week is sponsored by Michael Constantine Wealth Management. We bet you can't find a financial advisor closer to Hillsborough Stadium.
Hello, good evening, and we're back, and welcome to another episode of the Wednesday week. Now, we haven't had much of a chat offline to talk about what we're going to talk about tonight, because I feel that everybody is brimming with opinion. We've got Steve and his good-looking features, we've got Ben and his muscles, we've got Vic who's not done her hair, and Ash is bare loud tonight, so that's what's happening this evening, ladies and gents. My name's Dan Fudge, and welcome to another episode of the Wednesday week. That was a good intro, wasn't it? It was good. You know what I mean? I just made that on the spot. So that's what's happening tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It is the day before my 41st birthday. So sponsored by Forehead from a Syringe and Teeth from Bulgaria, I'm coming to you live on YouTube and coming in your ears. So I tell you what, Ben, as usual, I'm going to start with you. We've got a couple of fixtures to get through, haven't we? We've got, I was going to say draws. I haven't really looked. I mean, I'm right there, aren't I?
Yeah, I don't think you can go too far wrong by saying that Wednesday have drawn a lot this season. Oh, that first half on Saturday, that's the most, but I'll get straight into it. That's the most bored I think I've ever been at a Wednesday game. And there must have been times, especially in League One 10 years ago, when I got like that. But in recent years, that is probably the most bored I've ever been.
It was just terrible, wasn't it? They were so physical and we just had nothing. Not even like fancy ability to contradict the physical ability. It was just nothing.
And it was still better than Cambridge first half. That's how bad Cambridge was.
Okay, so what we're referencing is the Cambridge and the Lincoln City Imps game. Now, back when I started watching football, I think the Imps were in the National League, or back then it was called the Ensley League or the Vanarama, whatever it's called in old money. And now we're playing them in a league game. Now, you referenced the first half, Ben. I mean, Christ, like, has it not been like that the last 4 or 5 games, or what was specifically bad about that one?
Probably the fact I was there. I wasn't at Cambridge and I wasn't at Wimbledon. So probably been made worse fact I was there. I don't even think they were that physical. I just think the football that they played was better than us, especially the first half. They were knocking it about in triangles and squares. You know, they played, albeit we allowed them to, they played some really good stuff. And I think that is it, that we're allowing teams to do that. And about 40 minutes in, I said to my dad, we've not done that once. And could you name more than 3 of Lincoln's players? No. Could you name more than 3 of Wednesday's if you want even a Wednesday fan? Yeah, of course you could, because as we keep saying on paper, they're too good for this league, but they're not, because they're not showing it. It's infuriating. It really got to me, especially at first half on Saturday, as you can tell.
Right, just for the people at home, Ben, show me your angry face. Yeah. I can see why that pissed you off.
I'd show you mine, but I've had too much Botox. Now, Steve, now it weren't pretty, were it? I'm 41, sure up. Now, it weren't pretty, were it? I mean, is it a case of we need to adapt ourselves to play League One football, or are we phoning it in somewhat?
We've talked about it previously, haven't we, over the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks, the need to sort of realise that we're at a level that is appropriate to us, because we haven't played football good enough to play in the division higher. And, you know, we can talk about the point deduction being a reason that we've come down. But for me, there's just, as the guys are saying, there was no response to anything that Lincoln did. And I think that's the biggest issue for me, is that it's not about having a plan A, plan B. It's about responding to when your backs are against the wall in a game. And that's not necessarily saying that you've got to wholesale change the formation. It's about, you know, Maguire, for example, like Ben said, I couldn't name more than three Oxford players. I know Maguire played because he used to be one of ours. But when he was being horrible little shit in first half, nobody got anywhere near him. Nobody's adapted things. He started getting his foot on the ball and started to dictate the play and so forth. And we just kind of allowed it. We're not good enough when we haven't got the ball over a sustained period of time. And the problem is we don't know what to do when we have got the ball. And that's the issue for me. I think tonight will be cathartic for some of us, because we'll talk about the way that we've been playing football and the system that we play, what we'd like to see, and so on and so forth. But I find it really difficult to deconstruct, to break down, to analyze the way that we're playing at the moment, because it's that cliche at the minute of having no identity. We're just abject. There's just nothing there. It's flat as a fart. The first half, I'm not quite as scathing as some of the other guys have been on that first half performance, solely because I was there at Cambridge the other day. And I think that the first half at Cambridge was worse. However, we don't gear up at any point. We don't change anything. There's nobody that's looking to go and get the game by the scruff of the neck and grab all the things and say, right, I'm going to go and start to dictate play, with one exception for me, and that's Deli Bashira.
Well, absolutely. So FDB's has had a brief stint in the team after impressing in both fixtures. I thought he was outstanding against Wimbledon. A very small diamond in a lot of rough, because to be fair, Wimbledon's shite to get to. It looks like a shed in the middle of nowhere. Now, Vic, you were there. I mean, the stats are telling us that we had more shots but less shots on target. Did you get that sense of feeling? Did you feel that we were losing possession and we didn't know what to do once we got the ball, like Steve says?
I think, like Steve says, it was completely flat. Like, I couldn't tell you how many shots there were, because none of them felt like they were going in, bar two. Like, it was just dull. It was so dull. And even like Billy Bashiru, like I saw him obviously on the telly at Wimbledon, and I thought he looked class. I think on Saturday he looked very, very good in spaces. And there were parts where obviously the play through for the ball, there were quite a few bits that were just him and him alone. But then there was the odd time that the ball came near him and he seemed to it was like someone had paused him. He just didn't move. I mean, that happened with a lot of them, but with him, it was more frustrating because he was playing so well. And it was like, why have you just switched off for that moment? But yeah, I agree with everything that's been said. I just thought it was so poor. It was really, really boring. I was bored. I was tweeting at one point. I thought, should I just download Uno on my phone? Like, I was so bored. It was just, yeah. It came to like booking, obviously we'll talk about it in a bit, but like booking Plymouth tickets today, and I was just like, I can't be arsed. I don't need the points because I'm not going to any away games anytime soon. So I've got no hope of getting Ash's number of points. Bloody point Magoo. But so this, but I just couldn't. I can't be asked. I cannot be asked with any of it. I thought it was rubbish. And we might bring this up in a minute, but I have a bone to pick with two people that came up on that screen who travelled from Chuffin, Finland. Right? What excuse does that give me off Leppings Lane? What excuse? If you can fly from Finland, you've ruined my Saturdays now, because now I have no excuse not to go there.
To call out your front door.
Like, it's ridiculous. Like, think about other people. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I tell you what, I refer to that as something like, and it's the same as you, Vic. So, as I've mentioned before, I used to work at Butlins at Skegness.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, I've never heard this one.
Yeah.
Please enlighten us, Daniel.
Yeah. And in 10 years on and off of working at that site, I went to the beach once. And because this girl I was trying to meet wanted to go to the beach, so I took her to the beach. And that was the only time I went, because I thought
did you buy spades and make castles?
No, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. It went for bucket and spading. That's not a euphemism. So because it was always there, I just felt like I never wanted to go. Like, I'll go there. It's across the road. I can see it. Like, it's right there. Is that you with Hillsborough now, Vic?
Yeah, I mean, even when it's good, sometimes, like on a cold Tuesday night, you think, oh, especially if you're on telly. But
get immersion on.
No, I've paid for it, and I kind of haven't paid for it, because obviously I paid for it a year and a half ago. But then just parts like that just appear on the screen, like, oh, travelled across Europe. Oh, fuck off. To travel 50 yards.
All right, Ash, you and your massive loud microphone now. So I've purposely come to you last, because I know you're brimming, and I want you to do it in your quiet voice, and I know you're pissed off about something because it's you. And go on, so tell me about it. Tell me about your brimming feelings right now. Is it? I mean, you're coming all the way from the bottom end of South Yorkshire. You know what I mean? Is that effort for you?
No, not really, Daniel. What I would like to say is, I thoroughly enjoyed Saturday. It was great. It was fucking abysmal, wasn't it?
In what way, Smash? In what way?
Exactly what Stevie said. I mean, I went to Cambridge. I had the pleasure, displeasure, the absolute horror of going to Cambridge. But Saturday, we've had two absolute proper fucking rough results. So you think we're back at Thrillsborough, as we like to call it. Thrillsborough. And obviously Lincoln, not in the best of forms, down in, I think they were 16th at the time, something like that. And you think, come on, lads, do a bit. You've got pelters at Cambridge, you've got pelters at Wimbledon, and some people could say, rightly so, because of the performances. So you'd think they want to turn up, don't you? 23,500 were there, 3,000 Lincoln, which was brilliant, a cracking effort from them, even though they weren't very loud for 3,000 of them, I've got to say.
Yeah, apart from shouting you're not famous anymore, it's like, well, how come 3 times your normal away followers come here then?
Well, yeah, exactly. Exactly. There's a reason why they sold out, isn't it? And it's not for the fucking pies, is it? So yeah, no, it was just. So you think they're going to turn up, don't you? You think that they're going to turn up, give the not. No, but no, not now, Ben. You're right. No, you expect that they don't now turn up, but Hillsborough, and it was awful. Exactly like everyone's pointed out. There was just nothing. It was like, what do they do? So Saturday to Saturday, and we have a games in between. But what do they do in between there? Do they play Xbox? Do they practice on FIFA? What? Because they don't play.
Have more idea of how to play football.
They don't play. They don't train. They can't train. Or if they do train, they haven't got a. It's like you turn up for work and your boss goes, "I want you to do this." You all nod your head, going, "Yeah." Then you turn around to your mate and go, "I ain't got a fucking clue what we're doing. Do you?" And that's what I think they do. And I don't. I'm into second gear, but I'll calm down a little.
This is what I said the other week, Ash, and that's what I still can't get my head around, because I've not played football really under a proper coach since I was about 16, 17. And obviously, like Ben and Stevie more so than Ash and Fudge, who pretends to. But like,
I've never played football.
What does he tell them, and how much sort of what's the word for it now?
They listen.
No, like how much sort of control do they have over things? So if he turns around and says, right, I want you to do this, this, and this, and actually if it's not working, how much sort of, not integrity, but do you know what I mean? Like how much does he have the chance to turn around and go, no, do you know what, that don't work, I play better on this foot?
To be fair, isn't that as soon as they cross the line? You know what I mean? So you go, right, Barry, you're gonna play number 10 behind the striker alongside Callum Patterson. You're gonna feed Lee Gregory. I want you to stay up there. We're gonna have the 2 lads behind you. And he goes, all right, boss, yeah, of course, yeah. Fuck off.
The thing is though, like when we've had managers before who players blatantly haven't got on with, so like back to like Yoss and a few others, and obviously Carlos towards the end seemed a bit bitter with some people. Like, you could see then why they would do everything to the book, because they wanted to prove a point that this manager was shy and he needed to go. They all love Darren. Everyone loves Darren Moore. He's the nicest man in the world. But shit at his job at the moment. But he's the nicest man in the world. So why aren't they? I don't know how it works. I don't get it. At what point can you turn around and say no gaffer, I'm shite at free kick?
I think I'm going to say possibly say similar to Stevie, but on that, like, it's
autonomy.
How much is like you said, Fudge, when they cross the line, Darren Moore's changed it 3 times in the last 3 games, and none of it's worked. So while I'm not defending him because it isn't good enough and he has to take responsibility, and at the moment he hasn't got long left if it keeps going like this, but the players have to shoulder a lot of it as well, because he's no matter how daft you think some of the decisions have been, he has kept changing it, and none of it seems to have worked. So how much is that is down to him?
Changed it, but sorry, Ben. He changed it like midway. What was it, 75th minute or something at Cambridge? You know, after the goal, he changed it and it worked. Obviously, we were well on the front foot then, but he always seems to change it too late when everyone else can see it. And I don't know if that's
Yeah,
I'm
Go on,
just
Steve.
going to come. I think there, just on that point there, I think the problem with Saturday in the second half is that he actually changed it too early. And this is an issue that I've got, is that as big of a supporter I have been of his, and like Vic says, he's a wonderful bloke, and everybody wants him to do well. We want to succeed, and the players seem to be at the moment playing for him, and they'll come out and make all the right noises. Two things. To the Saturday point about what they do in the week, it must be something different every week, because when I've sat down and I was late coming back, getting into the ground on Saturday, but I sat down at kickoff, seeing the team, fucking hell, that's a decent enough team. Not quite sure why Dunkley's not in. Must be playing 4 at the back, Palmer at centre half. This is what we're going to have. And then we've sat down and I've looked up. Within 30 seconds, I've turned around to my sister and gone, he's playing Johnson left wing back here. We've gone 3 at the back. He's playing Johnson left wing back. We've got Brown on that side. We've got Hunt on that side. What has happened between Tuesday and Saturday for him to go, do you know what? We'll get back from Cambridge at this time. Wednesday, what I've seen, I'm not happy with. Wednesday, I'm going to change it to this formation. Dunkley gets his pelters, but I thought he was the better centre half on Tuesday against Cambridge.
Yeah, I
At
agree
what
with that.
point has he gone, right, Dunkley, I'm not going to put you in. I'm going to put in a left winger who's been playing left back and playing poorly. We're going to give him a go at left centre half today. What message is that saying to Dunkley, which is a problem in the first place? We could pull at that for the next 15, 20 minutes. The issue that I found on Saturday is when we finally did start to get a little bit of momentum, we did get on top of the game. He's had Corbin warming up for 5 minutes. He was actually stripped when the goal went in.
Chippendale, wasn't he? Constantly on, off.
He was stripped and ready, and rightly so. He's then turned around when we've scored and he's gone, right, Theo, sit down. Now's not the time. And I'm like, brilliant. He's realised that now's not the time to change it. I think we scored on about 54, 55 minutes. We're on top of the game. We're playing on the front foot. We're doing everything with those cliches that he gives us after the game. And then he's turned around and brought Gregory off and put Patterson on. And I'm thinking, why?
At the time, it felt odd. I said to my dad, the timing was odd. And the decision to take Gregory off, opinions are going to differ, but I'd have took Berino off out the 2. If you were going to take one off.
At 60 minutes, I'd have bloody left it because we were on top of the game. We were doing well. The moment he starts making changes at 60 minutes when we're 1-0 up, we've had 50 odd minutes of absolute shit. We've had 10 minutes of playing well. Oh, do you know what? We're doing really well. Let's change it. Who does that?
I mean, we are Sheffield Wednesday, and we are one of the biggest teams in this league. Like it or not, we are. Now, Ash, surely if we're going 1-0 up against a team like Lincoln, it should absolutely demoralise them, right? It should absolutely make them go, well, we give it a good go, lads. We fucked it now. A lot like Liverpool did when they beat Manchester United yesterday. But do you know what I mean?
But on that thing, I differ from what Stevie said. I would have said, if I've just gone 1-0 down and Eds have gone and everything, and I see Corbin coming on stripped, I'd get him on. That's the problem. As soon as we scored, you knew a goal, and that's the problem. You knew they were going to equalise. We're on top for 10, 15 minutes. There's the guy that, I don't know, 80% of the fans are saying needs to have minutes, needs to come on. He's stripped. He's running up and down. He's there. They score, and then the Lincoln players must know players for Wednesday and watch videos of oppositions and stuff, and well, it'd only be a fucking YouTube couple of minutes for him, wouldn't it? And get him on. Sit back down. Because you knew they were gonna. There was no pressure. He can't make a decision of saying, right, come on, you got to strip. You're going to be our next attacking thing, and then go, no, mate, you're all right. We're going to eke out a 1-0 now when we know we're not going to because we haven't. So it's his fucking fault. He needs to go now. And don't ask me who needs to come in because I haven't got a clue. But I just don't like it.
And that was the Wednesday week. See you next week.
Thanks a lot for joining us.
I mean, no. But he's tactically inept. He is the word. And then you're going to go on about
you're going to go too far now, Ash. He's not the. Come on, just have a minute.
I'm going to go statistics. Did you see the statistics?
I did.
Yes.
But I was just going to say, I agree with you about the substitution. I think that if you've made that decision, if you've committed to that, if you've got the guy's jacket off and he is ready and he's warming up, no.
Sorry.
Chance of beer time thing. No 1-goal lead is ever going to change that. Like, you can't just suddenly go, oh, we're winning now, that's it. It's still been shite for the 50 odd minutes before that.
Yeah.
You can't just suddenly change your mind. And it also gives the opposition team an idea of what you're about to do. Like, come on, they're not daft. They know that in the next 5-10 minutes you're going to bring him on. So they're already ready for that.
I do think, though, what Stevie said, the timing of it, because when we scored, we were then on top for a good 10 minutes. And that was the time where we needed to make it 2. We needed to make it 3. And the substitution just seemed to take pressure off Lincoln. It slowed it down. It just gave him 5 minutes to just regroup. That's how it felt to me.
That's my point. I've got no issue with him bringing Corbin on. I've got 2 thoughts on that. I don't get the hype necessarily because I've not seen enough of him. And
he's a good-looking bastard, to be fair, Steve.
He did look good when he come on, though. I've got to say.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing,
but he doesn't. He hadn't had enough. I get what
he's not had enough time.
Now.
He's not had enough time to have 80%, if that's what we're saying, of our fan base going, we've got to start and we've got to do this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
But the point was, when we make that substitution, where we're in the middle of a 5-10 minute period, and like Ben says, it just dropped there. And there's no way he was making that substitution to bring Corbin on for Gregory at the time. Do you know what I mean? So he will have been looking to either change the formation or change the way that we were playing or change something. He's then sat Corbin down and put Patterson on, like for like, which means he's not changed anything. So he's just apart from his mind. So, as much as I want to defend the bloke, I just question what he's doing because he changes every week. The decisions that he's making just seem to be, they mystify me at times. He makes changes either too early or too late. The substitutions that he does make baffle me. I don't know why Dunkley didn't play on Saturday, and that's no criticism of anybody else. It's just, when you're sitting down, you're going, he's had he needed a good game against Cambridge. He needs a run in the side if Fudge ain't going to be fixed. I don't believe for a second we're going to play the likes of a Sunderland or a Wickham or anybody else that's up there. And with Marvin Johnson playing bloody left wing back, it's not going to work. So
when was the last time we played 3 at the back?
About 4 weeks ago, wasn't it? It went long ago, were it?
It just keeps changing. That's the point. It just keeps changing.
My favourite thing about Saturday was when the lineup came through, and in on WhatsApp, Stevie was like, "Oh, I think that looks all right. I think that's decent. We could do something with that." And then 2 minutes in was, who the fuck has played Marvin Johnson at central?
Wow. Well, that's fun, isn't it? So that's 2 poor draws, and once again, Sheffield Wednesday can't keep a lead. A lot like a crap dog walker. Join us in the second half. We're going to take a quick break. Join us in the second half, and we'll be talking about Barry Bannon and why we can't keep that lead.
The Wednesday week is sponsored by Michael Constantine Wealth Management. We bet you can't find a financial advisor closer to Hillsborough Stadium.
All right, so welcome back. So there is another advert break that's probably just caught you by surprise. Ash, give me a sound of your sexy voice now. We've sorted your microphone out. What about that?
Hi.
Yeah, you see, he is available for cameo videos, but they're also available is Wagner from X Factor and Barry off EastEnders. So, there's that as well. Now, moving forward, we need to start talking about the shuffling of the pack that Darren Moore keeps doing. And Ben, there's one player that doesn't seem to be part of the shuffling. Now, we've discussed this player at length for the last Christ knows how many years. And Vic, I'll come to you after as well. Barry Bannon, does he create a negative atmosphere on the pitch when it comes to that, what Lord Hillsborough used to refer to as squeaky bum time?
I don't know, because I'm not one of the players. Looking at it, and with dressing rooms I've been in, I think myself would appreciate someone like that. I would, to be honest, going round. Thanks, Stevie, for that. What? He's lost me now.
Sorry.
But someone who just trying to rally people. That's how I see it. I know other people see it differently. And maybe sometimes from sat in the stand, it does look like he crosses the line with some people, just his mannerisms and gestures, I think, more than anything. But personally, I think I said a couple of weeks ago, people might not think he's a good captain, and you know what, he might not be, but it's probably the best we've got. I think we had this conversation, quite a big conversation about it a week or two ago.
Was I not present for your little chat? Because like I used to give Lord H and Vic a load of grief about starting the Atty New You fan club where they put duvets over themselves and shine a torch on the face and went, yes, do you remember Atty New You's favourite goal? It was this one, it was really good. Now, Vic, there was a point during the game, there's a bit of knowledge for you. There was a point during the last game where you referenced it on Twitter, I believe, about Barry Bannon potentially being a negative effect on or having a negative effect on the team?
Yeah, I think I've reflected on that now, and going off what Ben's just said and Ashley said, I think, yeah, maybe he is the right person to be captaining us. However, I think if that's the case, then he needs some sort of one-on-one coaching of being a captain time from Lee Bullen. I think that's the only way I can kind of, like, from an actual captain's perspective, not in any sort of footballing ability whatsoever. They are not in the same league, but well, I mean, literally aren't. But like, but I mean, as part of like a captaincy sort of style, because I tweeted just saying that there was a moment in the game that he passed it to Jack Hunt, way behind Jack Hunt, and then had a go at Jack Hunt for not assuming that he was going to pass it behind him. And I mean, when I say have a go, he was effing and jeffing. You could hear him from halfway up the North Stand. Like, it was loud. And it's just like, that to me, if I'm at work, like, I mean...
If you were in Meadowhall...
If I were in Meadowhall and he came and slide tackled, no. Right, if I was in work, or if you were working as part of a team, say if you were in, say, Fudge, your role's probably better for this. But like, if you were at work and it was a really busy night coming up in the bar and you needed to turn over X, Y, and Z to make sure everyone keeps jobs, etc., you would spur people on. You wouldn't stand behind everybody and go, you're not making that cocktail quick enough. Like, I expected you to pour that. And it's just like, it's demoralizing people rather than inspiring people. And I think I would just eventually, it's going to take one person to turn around and say, piss off, Barry.
Yeah.
And then are they going to get dropped or what? Go on, Ash.
Go on.
Sorry, man. No. Just.
Oh, Ash, you sound sexy and all that.
Is that better? Hi, welcome to the Wednesday week.
It's a jazz chat.
No, on that point, Vic, do you think then, like, you know, you've got Darren Moore, who's Mr. Nice, and you don't think, and you've got Barry Bannon, who's just a little bloody angry Scotsman that really does need to take him down a peg or two. Do you think they do not complement each other? Do you think that could, within the team dynamics, do you think that could like clashes and stuff, where you got Darren Moore who's like, who comes across, should I say, because I ain't got a clue in the dressing room, it could go hell for leather, but do you know what I mean? He comes across as he's a very nice guy, and he'd probably be a bit of a man manager talking to and then you get across that white line and all you get is that little dwarf shouting in your ear, or when he passes something shit and then starts pointing because he's done something wrong. And now to me that doesn't go together, so I don't know if that don't know what anyone else thinks. Or if I'm
it doesn't, especially with the level of authority that they have. So obviously, being a captain it's a big deal, but it's not. You know, it doesn't make you the boss. It doesn't make you anything particularly special. You just dish out the fines, and you're meant to be
the mouthpiece of the boss,
and you're meant to be a mouthpiece. You're meant to be somebody that can take them under your wing and say, "Look, it's all right about that bad pass the other day, mate. Don't worry about it. I've made plenty of them." You're not meant to be there screaming ab-jabs in the middle of the park. But also, I think if you look back to say, like when we had Sturrock, when we were back in this league before, and we had Sturrock and we had Lee Bullen. And I think Sturrock was your screamer, probably, as we've heard from a few people. And Bullen was Mr. Nice Guy, but also would tell you off if you messed up. And I think that's kind of a good level. Whereas actually you can't have someone being, it's almost like a proper job's worth, isn't it? Like if you worked in a call centre and your team leader's screaming down your ear every day, but the manager don't give a toss. You know, like, well, who's he? You're nobody special.
No, I agree. I just think it's worth sort of like acknowledging that what you see for 90 minutes on a Saturday might not be how he is throughout the week. It wouldn't surprise me if Barry Bannon is that, not arm round, but I think he'd again, we're saying what we think because we don't.
Darren Moore said, didn't he, when he signed loads of new people, Darren Moore said he took Bannon to some of the meetings and Bannon was the person that convinced people, and that's great. But if he is Mr. Nicey on the training ground...
Sorry, Vic. So Darren Moore hasn't got the pull to bring players in, is that what you're saying?
I think,
that to me, if that's right, that is absolute shit.
I think he said that he used him to talk about like life at the club and why it'd be good for their career and stuff like from a player's point of view. Because obviously for Bannon, he's he's a big name in this league, and to take him along and for him to say, "I've stayed at this club because of," sounds a lot better than
because I'll never get dropped.
Yeah, because they cost me everything. But I think as well, like I was just saying, like you said he might be really nice in the week at the training ground. Like that's great. But I would rather he screamed in my face at the training ground than I would in front of 20,000 people when I'm trying to do my job. Because at the training ground, yeah, all right, that's still their job. But everything culminates in 90 minutes on that pitch. And if you're just getting screamed at by someone all the time, it just would put me off. And it just made me think, well, I could go and play for someone else.
Well, I tell you what, it's like you were saying about working in my game. I run a bar for those that don't know. And around midnight, 1 o'clock, it's bloody awful. Like, it is a crap job to have. The people that are behind that bar, fair play to them, because it's something that I'm just too old and I ain't got the time of day for people to speak to me, let alone ask them what they want. But all the way through that evening, I like walk behind the bar and go, "You all right? You all right? How's it going? You all right?" Just give them a little pat on the back. I think you're doing a great job. You know what I mean? Even though they're probably not. You know what I mean? But then in the management meetings or in the team meetings, I'm going, why can't we get the bloody brunch shift on a Saturday, right? Because we know what they're bloody having. They're going to have avocado on toast and bloody Prosecco. Just get them, for God's sake. Stop fucking about. Now, what I'll do on a Saturday is halfway through the night, around 12 and 1 o'clock, is give them the Jaeger bombs. Just walk down the back of the bar. Here's the Jaeger bomb. They're on me. Yeah. I'm a great boss, me, aren't I? Here's the Jaeger bombs. But as daft as it sounds, that type of thing, that way of management is a difference between being a leader and being a manager or being the boss. You know what I mean? And there's going to be a point where Darren Moore, who let's be honest, was a big old shit kicker when he was a player. I mean, he was a frightening motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he could kick some mans, and then he's obviously what he's trying to do now is lead a team, and he's trying to lead a group of players. But I feel that on the pitch, he's got somebody that isn't perpetuating what he's trying to achieve. Does that make sense? He's trying to be a leader, and what he wants Bannon to do is lead, is be his mouthpiece on the pitch, be the person that he can rely on to go, "This is my message, can you please send that out?" And he's not. I think he's giving something else. Steve, come on, back me up, pal.
Okay. I agree with all of that, and you're a great manager, Dan.
Thanks, man. Half-time Jaeger bombs.
Such a great leader.
That's what you need to do, just half-time Jaeger bombs, and we'll fuck anybody. Like, you know what I mean?
Listen, there's been times when I've looked at it and it looks like they've had first half Jaeger bombs, to be fair. I in all seriousness, I think I said last week, I'm not really that fussed who the captain is, if I'm honest with you. I think that a winning team has 11 leaders. When it's not going right, we're all picking each other up. And I agree entirely with what Vic says. I think the only thing I would add, not controversially, but just to sort of give a balance to the argument and consideration, is it's like the carrot and stick approach. So we're on this podcast today, and it might be that if things aren't going well, I might give Ben a roasting, whereas I might put my arm around Ash. Yeah.
Oh, don't pick on Ben.
He is shit.
Yeah, I'm off.
Quick, put your arm around him, Steve. Put your arm around him.
I've had one of your arms around me, Steve. It was lovely.
Oh God, flashbacks to the other week.
Loving. I just think I would like to think, sort of taking everything with its merit, I'd like to think that if Bannon has done what he did to Hunt, and he was your side of the pitch, Vic, so I couldn't see, and I know you messaged and said that was what was going on. Has he done that to Hunt because he knows that Hunt will be able to take it, and it might be something that will get Hunt, right, I've fucked up there, or I haven't fucked up there, and I'm going to have to respond accordingly. Whereas if he tries to do that to
Alex Hunt,
yeah, for example, another player. Is he then going to turn around and put his arm around the player and say, look, that's not right. We've got to be better. Give him a pat on the head or whatever else. Do better next time.
I get that, Steve. Let me just interject. I completely understand what you're saying. So, is Hunt the type of player to react to a shit kicking rather than a arm around the shoulder type of thing? And I completely understand. But I don't feel that last season, for example, I feel that Joey Pelopessi did not get an arm around his shoulder whatsoever. He got an absolute shithousing every moment he got, to the point where Barry Bannon's now dropped behind the defensive midfielder to go and play centre-back and fucked us up every other game that we played by having this 5'4" angry dwarf who's not going to win a bloody header at the back stick because he wants to get deeper because he doesn't trust Joey as a player. Now, there's berating a player, there's giving him constructive feedback, and then there's doing his job for him and your own and failing at every one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I fully take that point as well. I'm offering a balanced argument to the discussion.
Oh, God damn
Come on,
it.
get those tweezers on them splinters out your arse, Steve. Come on.
The one thing that we cannot say about Barry Bannon is that he lacks passion, and that he lacks passion for this football club, because he does, and he bleeds blue and white now. And I genuinely think if we don't sell him on, he will finish his career here. And I think he's been a great servant to the club. I know I got a few replies to that tweet saying, "Oh, get rid of him. His captain does to a relegation." Blah blah blah. I disagree with that completely. I don't think that's fair on him at all. I think had we have had him at full strength with the likes of Kieran Lee, Hutchinson, etc., we'd have still been up challenging in the Championship now. But we didn't have that, and I don't think any of us want to see Bannon leave the club or even feel that he's not wanted at the club, because he absolutely embodies everything that we need at the moment. It's just whether he needs
to dial it down. I still think he needs to dial it down.
He just needs to calm it down a little bit on the pitch.
It's like Ash in the first half of this podcast. He just needs to
It's also when we talk about, like, if referees are having a go at one player and your captain's job is to come over and diffuse the situation. That happened the other week, and Patterson got booked. It just doesn't.
Because that's what any altercation needs. Two Scottish people getting told off. That's all they need. That's what everybody wants, isn't it? You know what I mean? Right then. So we are 3/4 of the way through this podcast. We are at an impasse. We are at the junction. Vic's going to go and sort her dogs out because somebody must have walked past or something. You know what bloody dogs are like. They're right yappy buggers. Does anybody have anything to add? Ash, I know you were quite vocal in the group chat earlier on. What have you managed to calm down since the weekend? How do you feel our league prospects are going? We're only 9 points away from the top. Charlton have just got rid of their manager. How do you think it's going to go?
Yeah, I mean, for all my loud mouth shouting and screaming, and I'm generally not happy at all.
That's just you, Ash. You know what I mean?
Well, I had no Yorkshire tea at work, so that's gone on it.
I've set fire to the place.
But you'll get the people that, and it's a cliche that I'm going to come out. You don't look at the league before Christmas, but everyone does, and we are only 3 points off the playoffs. But this is my biggest gripe, and I don't know if anyone will agree with me, but I said this last week on the pod. There's only one team that I've been impressed with. That's Plymouth. Every other team that I believe we've played against have been shit, right? But we've been worse than the shit teams. And that's what pisses me off, is that we have the players, we've got the club, we've got the fans that pay God knows how much to go to bloody Wimbledon, 1,000 of them. You got Tuesday night, 2,500, Cambridge. You're going to have X, Y, Z, however many go. And the teams that we're playing are shit. And that is, I'm not being disrespectful. I don't care. They have been League One teams, and I know we're there. It's his own fault we're in there, and I get that. But we should be a hell of a lot better.
Ashley,
yes.
Are you going to go? Let's get Ryan Moore in.
Who? Ryan Moore?
Ryan Law. Fucking hell.
No, I'm not. Why would he come to us anyway? For what?
Are you banging the Ryan Law drum?
No. Why would I? I didn't like him as a player at Wednesday. I don't get the loving for him, and is obviously doing well at Plymouth, and he deserves that. He's been there a few years now. He deserves that. Why would? Yeah,
but if you've been to Plymouth, it's the arse end of nowhere. The club's got no potential. There's no fans. Mate, surely you come to the Wendy, just like Darren Moore coming to us.
I went to Plymouth in a fucking electric car. That's how dedicated I was. I didn't get home till 2 a.m. because it bloody ran out.
Greta Thunberg here.
Oh, no.
How dare you?
Anyway,
Stolen their futures.
But that's my point. I've been impressed with Plymouth and no other teams, and that's what's peed me off. We should have been good enough to beat these teams. We haven't. You can look at the league all you want. So what do you do? How do you change it?
You win bloody football matches.
And so what is it? Is it the players' fault? Is it the manager's fault? It's certainly not the fans' fault.
No, and this is what my gripe has been with being a Sheffield Wednesday fan for the last 30 odd years. It's very much we've done our bit and we do our bit year in, year out. We're constantly doing our bit, and all we get rewarded with is pap and shit and bollocks. Now, Ben, come on, playoffs aren't good enough in League One, are they? We want automatic, don't we?
We do, but at the moment we're going to have to settle for playoffs where we're playing.
Bollocks. We're 9 points from the top. Come on, Ben, it's 2 wins.
No, I'm in a similar position to Ash, to be honest, which is unusual.
It is, yeah. I'll mark that in the diary. Mark that one down. That's it. Gone.
But no, I'm not happy with it either. We've said, is it the players? We've said, is it the manager? People are going to be calling for his head. The more this goes on, pressure's going to go mount on him if it carries on like it is. But I just don't. We can't keep chopping and changing managers. That's now my only one of my only ways of backing him now, that we can't keep chopping and changing, because I don't see how that's going to make anything any better.
But surely if this guy's doing shit, you get another guy in. I want to go. You know, when people say, like, oh, you're going to get that. Oh, you're going to bloody get. Who's coming in? Oh, you're going to bloody get. I don't give a fuck. It's not my job. Let's get unknown German man. Let's get him in. And what are you asking me for? I didn't know who bloody Josh Lukai was, and he turned up with his bloody droopy face and his Freddie Mercury tribute face. There's a lot of face. I ran out of analogies there.
Do you think, like, putting this out to you do you think that he's not getting away with it? But do you think there's less pressure on him because obviously the chairman isn't in the country?
I think
he's not witnessing it himself. All he's seeing is, oh, we've got a point. Oh, we've scored. Do you think that's?
I think that had probably been similar last year, to be honest.
No, yeah.
Still made 3 or 4 changes.
I think he's in Ashley's group chat, and when they're all slagging everybody off, he's there under a pseudonym with his new mates, and Ash is having Zoom calls with him on a Sunday, and he's going, "How do we play, lads?" And Ash is going, "We're bloody rubbish. Our bloody bored." And that's you, that Ash. That's my.
Is that how I talk?
Yeah. We're bloody rubbish. and he's going, "Oh my God, I'm not having this. I got this kid in because I thought it was exciting. He had Doncaster up in 7th place." You know what I mean?
But then, if you listen to Praise and Grumble on the way home, there was a Donny supporter.
I know this bloody podcast is bad enough.
Oh, it's great. It's good. And they do a cracking job, guys, at Radio Sheffield. And I'm available for voiceovers and stuff. So, but no. There was a Doncaster Rovers supporter, and obviously they had a cracking good win. And it took him all of 20 seconds to mention Darren Moore and Sheffield Wednesday, even though they had a cracking win. And he said he's exactly like he was at Doncaster. Negative.
They were doing a lot better than us.
Negative. Well, towards the end, I'm assuming this guy is talking about. He was very negative. Played 5 at the back. Didn't know what he was doing. He made stupid substitutions. Same as what we've just said for the last 45 minutes, really.
Wow.
So it's. But then, what do you do? I know. Like I said, I don't. If he's not the guy, but when will he not be the guy? So not now, as 3 points out of the playoffs. Are we 4 points out of the playoffs? 5 points?
I don't want playoffs. Playoffs can suck a fat one. I'm not interested in playoffs.
I'm not either.
The thing is, like Ash had said, we in my opinion, we've not played So I know we've played a few, but not all of the top teams. We've played Wimbledon, Cambridge, Lincoln. They're all.
That just sounds like a middle-class tour of the UK. You know what I mean?
Well, we played Wigan.
They're all average teams, and if you did a couple of weeks ago, you'd have looked at our fixture list and said you need 12 points out of that.
Yeah,
and we've got 3 so far.
Go on, Steve. You've done your obligatory lean forward. I feel like you've got things to say. I can
is
see it.
actually
The
serious.
shit afoot now. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
Steve's about to drop some knowledge on us.
No,
And he's not going to mention Liam Palmer in at least 14 seconds.
I'm not going to mention Liam Palmer tonight.
Way,
Although
name drop.
he might be signing a new contract.
Who gives a shit?
Honestly,
who gives a shit?
He should be captain.
He might be captain. He's 30 bloody one. He's been there 10 years. He's been there a third of his life, and we've been shite. He's been relegated twice. Do you know what I mean? He has a face that needs ironing, and he's a solid 6.5 every game. I used to call him a solid 7, but that was being bloody generous. You know what I mean? And the best thing is,
we just let him go.
the best thing that bloke has ever done
Yeah.
was when he had that interview with the Sheffield Star, and he looked over the back and he went, "Hey, have you just got a cheeky Costa?" That was really funny. I'll give him that. Apart from that,
I'm just eyeballing you now. Right.
Go on, Steve. Sorry.
I'm kind of in the same situation as Ash. I think.
Ash, have you paid these pair or what?
I'm worried. I think I know Ben doesn't drink, but I know Stevie does, and it's the holidays.
I've got less of a dog in the Moore fight than I had 3 weeks ago, and I was all for keeping him, and I still at this moment in time think that we've got to be careful what we wish for. And I know it's all right saying, right, I don't care who we get in all seriousness, I don't care who comes in. It's got to be an upgrade on what we've got. But, you know, my worry is what if it isn't, and we get somebody in, whether they be an unknown foreign manager, whether they be a training ground coach who's stepping up, whether it be a journeyman manager, whether it be somebody who's dropping down from the Championship because the ship rolls down and those Premiership jobs, the Premiership coaches are now working in the Championship, so the Championship manager is going to start working in League One. It's awful to have. It's a strange situation because there's so much positivity around the club at the start of the year, the start of the season, and it's evaporated really quickly. And for all our misgivings about the way that we've been playing, it's been a long time for me personally that I've sat at Hillsborough, and within 3-4 minutes, the boos, the cat calling, the negativity that was coming out from the stand was it was stark. And it's not that we've literally the first mistake that was made. You've got 16,000 people on a player's back, and I don't think it's not productive. And I'm not saying that that's right or wrong, because we all pay our money. We pay for the tickets. We pay for the seats. We go sit down. It's our God-given right to go and say, right, we're going to criticise the team, that we support. I just feel that we've started running before we can walk, and we've got relegated. My thing is we overhaul the squad. The squad for me is better than it was last year on paper, although the performances haven't been there on paper. The players that we've got in, I think personally, are better suited as a unit for A, this league, and B, for each other. I think Moore deserves a lot of credit for being part of the facilitation of that. If you look at our performances and you look at our record this season, the issue that we've got is that obviously we've drawn too many games, but it's not just the drawing of the game, it's the nature that we've drawn the games. We've not been able to hold on to a league.
Even when we've won, Steve, won, that game against Bolton was pish. It's,
the mistakes that we've made, and there was no doubt every time we go 1-0 up and the opposition get a corner, you're sitting there, you're clinching your arse and you're gripping onto your seat because you know what's coming.
I'm straight on Sky Bet, and I bet for a draw. Mate, I've won some money. I've won some money.
But this is it, isn't it? But the reality is, it's a harsh reality as well. And I know I can guarantee the four of you are going to disagree with me on this one. But you take out Plymouth, and you take out Oxford. What was the feeling around the club when we lost 1-0 at Morecambe? We bossed the game. We had all the possession, and for all our negativity now, we were all right with losing 1-0 at Morecambe because it was a blip in the road, wasn't it?
It was a blip, but
that's all it was. That blip has now become
a cobbled path.
Yeah, and that's my worry. Do I want to get rid of Moore? No. Do I
Would you
wanna
take
keep
Steve
him up?
Bruce?
No.
Take him round the back and shoot him. That's what I'd
Hey.
do.
Listen,
No.
if Steve
I'm
Bruce
glad
got
there was
results,
shooting involved there.
if Steve
But
Bruce
this is
got
it.
results,
You
I
know,
wouldn't give a shit.
you ask me that question now, and would you take him? No. And then you go, what if he gets results? And I'm sitting here straight away going, do you know what? You know, and that's the fickle nature of being a football fan, isn't it?
No. Have you got 2 guns, Ash? I'll come with you.
Don't matter. Fool me once, more fool me. More fool you. Fool me twice. No, absolutely not. No.
I wouldn't.
Against me, I blocked him on WhatsApp, Facebook, everything. We are at a point now in that relationship.
You've still got him on Tinder, though, haven't you?
Coming back from that. Yeah, I don't actually have his WhatsApp. I'm talking about like if we were dating.
Ash does.
Absolutely no way on earth would he ever come within a mile of my house ever again. Absolute cheating.
But if he got the job back, he would literally be in a mile with it.
What you're saying to Vic is, if
No.
Steve got the job done, would he come back? If he
No.
got results, no.
Honestly, if he got us out this league and then had us pushing for the next league as well, I
No.
won't give 2 shits.
We'd look like an absolute mug to all of our happily married friends that we'd taken
Yeah,
back.
but we know what ex-girlfriends' friends are like. You know what I mean? They come in, he's a rat bastard, don't talk to him again, he's bloody horrible. Horrible he is. And then you went home with him one night and then he took us to the end of the season.
No, all the friends told me about the red flags, if you like, when we got him on board. All the friends said, oh, he's done this before to old Sharon.
Yeah, but he was good in the sack.
He did it again to me.
Can I say he may have been good with his love muscle? What can I say?
Oh, God. You've just made me think of Steve Bruce's junk. Anyway, listen, thanks a lot for joining us this week. We've got Plymouth coming up. They've moved the fixture. What do you want? What do you want?
I've got a little bit.
Oh, have you got a bit? All right.
A little bit. So we're talking about people travelling a long way to the match on Saturday, and there was a chap called Graham who posted in the Wednesday Sing, asking if anybody.
Sorry.
Go on.
Asking
Graham.
if anybody could share a lift up from Dorset to the match, because he was hard on cash and
Comes from Bournemouth, doesn't he?
I don't know, Dorset. I don't know. Is that your way? I'm not sure.
It's 3 hours away.
Is it? I don't know. It said Dorset. I'm sure it said Dorset.
Yeah, when I was in Southampton, it was 20 minutes away.
Anyway, he comes from Dorset apparently, or Bournemouth, whatever. It's a long way. And he wanted to bring his daughter. He brings her up to games, and he just posted in the Wednesday Thing, quite innocently actually, just saying, and it genuinely wasn't like a beg on money or anything like that. Just asked if anyone wanted to lift share because he was struggling for cash and really wanted to go up this week, and he got his daughter for the weekend, etc., etc. Anyway, somebody in the Wednesday Thing decided to start a GoFundMe. Ash, could you look less bored when I'm talking?
Well, sorry, I'm listening to you. We're not on a video or anything.
We are.
I can see you looking very fed up with me.
I'm not. I'm just listening.
For those of you listening in the car, Ash was looking very bored. Go on.
Interesting. Oh, that's no better. But anyway, so he basically put on the Wednesday Thing, like, could anyone share a lift up, blah, blah, blah. And loads of people offered to donate money towards his fuel. Cheeky little bugger, I'm choking your face on the computer.
Go on.
So loads of people offered to donate, and so somebody set up a GoFundMe, and they raised like 250 odd quid.
Oh, that's bloody brilliant. That's amazing.
Oh, did he get first class train?
No, he drove up.
Mate, having travelled up from the south, that's not enough.
Oh.
He worked it out, and it cost him about £100 return in fuel to get there and back with his little girl. And then they were like, well, we've got 150 quid left over. Like, what else do we do? And so rather than just saying, right, we'll give 75 quid each to charity, they went to the club shop and they bought like loads of little bits and bobs. So like from a home shirt to, a gnome for Stevie, like all sorts from the club shop.
That's a lot of tap for 150 quid, isn't it?
So he is raffling it off now, and all the money is going to the Children's Hospital and to Shay's Triathlon, who obviously big friend of the show, my little Shay. So if you find him on Twitter at Portland_owl, or I've retweeted it recently, we'll retweet it from the podcast as well. But yeah, he's basically doing raffle tickets for £1. Every penny goes to the two charities, and hopefully that will raise more than him just splitting the leftover money. But yeah, I just want to shout that out because
That's a really cool story. I actually quite like that. I tell you what, Wednesday fans make me piss. We are, and I've said it before, we're the worst miserable bastards in the absolute world. But I mean, there's Ash right there, like, you know what I mean? He wrote the book on it. And then on this show before, we used to have Dickie Owl. You know what I mean? He would say, in fact, Ash, you're like a like for like replacement. You know what I mean? But in a nice way. But honestly, Sheffield Wednesday fans make me laugh. We whinge, we moan, we complain, we whinge about putting us money in. But when it comes to somebody having a shit time, we absolutely come through. And that's a really cool story. I really like that. So it's that time of the evening, ladies and gents. Do we have any other business? What's that in?
Don't think so.
Cheltenham Saturday.
Cheltenham Saturday.
New contract, Stevie.
Oh, Cheltenham.
Well,
do you know anything about Cheltenham? No.
I know nothing about Cheltenham. That's why I was just going to swerve past that. I know as much about Cheltenham as I do Lincoln City. Go on, Steve.
Well, I was just reading through. I thought we might talk about it. I've gone a bit silent and gone, oh, let's have a look and see
all
what
right. Well, I tell you what. Listen, while Steve talks about Cheltenham, I'm going to go for a lovely wee.
Okay, I better start talking about Cheltenham then. I think, in all seriousness, it's said that a lot tonight, haven't I? In all seriousness,
Yeah, but you are very serious, though, man.
I am feeling quite serious tonight. I've looked at their league results so far, and they are, I think, 3 points behind us. So we're on 21, they're on 18. I just, for shits and giggles, wanted to have a look at the teams that they beat and the teams that they lost against.
Ooh.
So far this season, they've lost to Wycombe, Fleetwood, Wigan, Sunderland, Rotherham, and Donny.
Ben looks like the class geek that's been outshone with the homework assignment here. He's absolutely human.
So there's only Donny out of them lot, isn't it? That's
well, if you want to go like for like with the teams that we've played, we beat Fleetwood. We beat Fleetwood. We beat Wigan. We beat Rotherham. They're teams that beat them. Obviously beat Rovers as well. Sorry, the teams that they've beaten: Ipswich, Charlton, Oxford, Accrington, and Morecambe.
oh,
So if you want to sort of temper where we are and gauge where we are in terms of performance, if we're not going out there, and I'm not saying that we're going to win, or I think we should be, well, I am saying I think we should be winning. You want to get a measure as to where we are in the league at the moment and whether it's a false position or we need to be kicking on. If we're struggling against Cheltenham, given that they are in relative terms playing or getting results that aren't a million miles away from us, the point I'm making is that teams that we've beaten are beating them, and teams that have beat us, they're beating. We should be going out there. It's going to be a real sort of measuring stick as to where we are in the league at the moment, whether or not it's a false position we need to be kicking on or what.
Well, so if we only draw and or lose against Cheltenham, then Darren Moore's fired and Barry Bannon's getting sold. Is that what you're? I'm going to do some talk sport style journalism now. So are you saying Stevie Spence that if we don't get a result against Cheltenham, and then Simon Jordan kicks in, he'll go wibble wobble wobbly, wibble wobble wobble, wibble wobbly Cheltenham, and then
Jonathan Ross.
Yeah, Jonathan Ross. It's the same. I'm not lying. The same impression for Jonathan Ross exists for Simon Jordan because they sound the same. They just say wibble wobble wobbly with big jowly cheeks. Are you saying Stevie Spence? What am I saying?
About Darren Moore getting a sack after Cheltenham.
So is it more out if he fucks it against Cheltenham?
I think it will make his position increasingly untenable.
Well, after the Wimbledon
I knew you were going to say untenable. I love that one.
I like Tenable. It's a cracking show.
Is that with that big lad?
Is that?
Are you going, Ash? Are you going to Cheltenham?
I'm not, because it's my daughter's birthday on Saturday, and we are going to Stoke. We're going to Waterworld. It's a big indoor water thing. She likes swimming and stuff. So yeah, but I'm not. I would have usually. But
Ash,
no,
you're not
While
taking
you're
it.
in Stoke, Ash, there's a place called Monkey Forest that's there, and it's amazing. There's like.
Are you not taking it to Diggerland?
I've taken the kids to the Monkey Forest.
I absolutely love.
Is that a euphemism?
What was that? Is that like? Is it a sanctuary?
It's near Stoke.
That's what it says on the tin. It's a forest full of monkeys.
Yeah,
It's like Gibraltar Point, but massive.
Yeah, but they like come over to you, they like climb all over you. You only need a couple of hours, so you could do that whilst you were over there. It's so good, honestly. I'll send you the link. It's absolutely mint. I had a right good time.
Yeah.
So, guys, if you're stuck for any more half-term ideas for you, family, get in touch with Vic at WednesdayWeek.co.uk. So she loves it.
Should we do a prediction for the Cheltenham game?
Yeah, 1-0, 1-1.
What, us scoring first?
Yeah, us scoring first and shitting out 85 minutes, 1-10.
I'm gonna go. I think the prediction will change at 1 minute past 2 on Saturday, but I'm gonna go for a 2-0 win. I think I've got to be positive. I'm not positive, but I need to be, and I want to be. And I'm not going, so I don't care.
That's fair. Ben?
2-1 Cheltenham.
2-1 Cheltenham. Are
there.
you saying Benjamin?
Darren Moore's out, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah, like Steve, according to Ben, Darren Moore's fucked it. What about you?
Head says Cheltenham.
Drink.
Head says Cheltenham. Heart says Wednesday. I've got that right way around, haven't I? I can't.
The heart will also
see
win.
it. I can't see where we're going to get that win. I'm just really downbeat about it.
Wait, hang on. Does that mean Ash is the positive one in these predictions here so far?
A 2-0 win. I mean,
Right, Vic.
it weren't quite as close as Stevie's 4-0 for the weekend, just gone. But
Hey,
I said 1-1 on that one, by the way. I got
look at you.
that is potent stuff. Yeah.
All right,
hence the rant.
Vic, are you going to make Ash the only positive one on tonight's show?
We will be winning 1-0 until
We'll
the
Greg up the tits. Come on.
73rd minute.
70.
In the what, third minute?
Oh,
73rd.
70.
We won all.
It'll be all right. Okay. So Ash, you're the only one that's predicted a win. So you get to all of a sudden, just stick your dick in everybody's face. I'm sorry, kids. It's half term. I've just said that loud. Listen, thanks a lot for joining us tonight. It's been absolutely amazing. If you listen back to this show, to listen the second time, you'll realise that I ran out of material about 40 minutes in. It's actually quite funny. Thanks a lot for joining us. You what, Doug?
40 minutes in or 4?
4 minutes.
Intros and that was it.
Listen,
Is it a game of guess? Does Dan run out of material first, or does Sheffield Wednesday concede?
yeah. My running out of material usually lasts around the same as Sheffield Wednesday can keep the ball out of their own goal. You know what I mean? It's around the same. It's around the same. Right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot for joining us tonight. Don't forget, Vic, where was the raffle ticketing? Are we going to retweet that?
At Portland_owl.
At Portland_owls. Don't forget to join us, follow us at TWWcast, and you can listen to the musing of Ash because he's having a great time with it, to be fair. Ben just stopped doing the Instagram, so I think it's Simon now, and I think he's fucked it off. So we'll find somebody else to do that, but thanks a lot for joining us. See you later.
The Wednesday Week is sponsored by Michael Constantine Wealth Management. We bet you can't find a financial advisor closer to Hillsborough Stadium.